Hello everyone, welcome to the Animeverse Hubs channel. Today we're diving deep into episode 168 of Battle Through the Heavens, and what an absolutely incredible episode this is going to be. Remember, this is based on the novel, so it won't be 100% similar to the Donghua version. Today we will dive into what to expect in this mind-blowing episode where Xiao Yan's power reaches terrifying new heights. And without further ado, let's go into the story. What we witness in this episode is nothing short of extraordinary. Xiao Yan's strength has reached an entirely new level that left even the strongest present completely stunned and unable to comprehend the magnitude of his transformation. After his incredible journey under the Bodhisattva Ancient Tree, his aura had grown so vast and terrifying that it felt like standing before a force of nature itself. The most devastating moment comes when, with a single palm strike, just one casual movement of his hand, he completely crippled the next leader of the Hun clan, leaving absolutely everyone watching in horrified silence. But what Xiao Yan didn't realize was that this was only the beginning of what would become the most dangerous confrontation of his life. Soon after this incredible display of power, the Bone Nether Saint descended onto the battlefield with the confidence of someone who possessed the ability to crush mountains with his bare hands. However, what happened next shocked even this ancient powerhouse. He was nearly obliterated by Xiao Yan's terrifying fire lotus, a technique that demonstrated incredible mastery and devastating potential equivalent to the combined attacks of thousands of peak experts. But Xiao Yan's journey under the Bodhisattva Ancient Tree wasn't just about battle and raw power. It was something far more profound and transformative. Entering the sacred tree itself, he made the remarkable decision to help cleanse it of the lingering negative emotions left behind by a fallen Dudi, emotions that had been festering for countless millennia like spiritual poison. As a reward for his selfless actions and incredible bravery, the tree gifted him 3 of its most precious treasures, artifacts so rare that even half-saints would kill for the chance to possess just one. Within that ancient realm, something absolutely extraordinary happened. Xiao Yan experienced 100 lifetimes of reincarnation, each one tempering his heart and soul like a blade being forged in the fires of eternity. When he finally emerged from this incredible ordeal, his cultivation had surged dramatically, and I mean dramatically, from 9-star Dozong straight to 9 transformation Dozun. The audience was left in complete awe, filled with amazement and disbelief. Even the ancient clan's strongest experts couldn't recognize his aura anymore, and many quietly admitted with growing concern that Xiao Yan now felt even more powerful than their own half-saints. After exiting the tree, Xiao Yan made a bold choice that demonstrated incredible wisdom and strategic thinking. He generously distributed Bodhisattva seeds to the ancient clan and the other neutral experts who had shown him respect and fairness, but deliberately and with calculated precision, withheld them from the Sky Demon Phoenix clan and the Hun clan. This immediately enraged Hun Yu and Zhu Feng, their faces darkening with murderous intent that they could barely contain. Hun Yu tried desperately to maintain his calm facade, but the killing intent burning in his eyes betrayed his true feelings like flames breaking through a thin mask. At last, he stepped forward coldly, his voice dripping with arrogance and threat, demanding that Xiao Yan hand over 8 of the Bodhisattva seeds so that the matter could be temporarily settled. But Xiao Yan refused without hesitation, his voice steady and unwavering. He knew exactly how rare and valuable these seeds were, treasures that not only could raise the chances of stepping into the realm of Daosheng by an incredible 30%, but could also be refined into Bodhisattva pills, legendary treasures that peak Dozuns dreamed of obtaining their entire lives. To simply hand them over to these threatening enemies was absolutely unthinkable. Hun Yu's face darkened completely, his calm expression cracking like broken glass and being replaced with pure, undiluted murderous intent. At his command, the Hun clan and the Sky Demon Phoenix clan's experts erupted into action, their Dao Qi surging wildly as they encircled Xiao Yan and his companions with the precision of seasoned predators cornering their prey. The pressure was absolutely overwhelming, equivalent to standing under the weight of collapsing mountains. Yet Gushun'er and the others remained firm, their resolve unshakable. She glanced at Xiao Yan with eyes filled with concern and determination, asking if he needed her to handle Hun Yu with her incredible ancient clan bloodline power. But Xiao Yan only smiled, a smile filled with quiet confidence that made everyone present feel a chill of anticipation, shaking his head with remarkable composure. Before his transformation under the Bodhisattva Ancient Tree, perhaps he would have needed to unleash his devastating fire lotus technique to secure victory. But now his strength had already surpassed Hun Yu by such a margin that there was simply no contest. With steady steps that demonstrated incredible confidence and control, Xiao Yan walked calmly out of the encirclement as if taking a leisurely stroll. The Hun Clan and Sky Demon Phoenix experts instinctively parted to let him pass, their instincts screaming danger, then closed ranks again to pin down Gu Shun'er and the others with desperate determination. Facing Hun Yu directly, Xiao Yan made a decision that left everyone absolutely stunned. He openly admitted he carried the Tuoshi Ancient Emperor Jade, one of the most coveted treasures in existence, and even provoked him with a smirk that radiated devastating confidence. "If you want it, come and take it." Hun Yu's fury boiled over like an erupting volcano. He sneered with the arrogance of someone who had never truly faced defeat, unleashing an illusionary technique designed to confuse and disorient even the strongest opponents. But Xiao Yan's sharp perception, enhanced by his incredible transformation, pierced through it instantly like light cutting through shadow. With one decisive punch, a single movement that contained the power of collapsing stars, he struck Hun Yu's true body with devastating accuracy and forced him out of the void. His technique shattered like brittle glass. The spectators gasped in horror and amazement. This kind of trick had fooled countless opponents throughout the years, including many peak experts. Yet Xiao Yan had destroyed it with terrifying ease. No longer holding back even the slightest portion of his incredible strength, Xiao Yan released his aura in full, and what happened next defied all expectations. The force spread across the battlefield like a tidal wave of pure destruction, crushing everyone present with invisible weight that made breathing itself a struggle. The neutral experts were absolutely horrified, their faces pale with disbelief and growing terror. In just 1 month, a time span that should have been impossible, Xiao Yan had advanced to the very peak of the 9 revolutions Dozun, a realm that placed him beyond even their wildest expectations and deepest nightmares. Hun Yu tried desperately to mask his shock and growing fear, but his pride, the pride of someone who had dominated others for centuries, wouldn't let him back down. Activating his clan pattern with desperation that he tried to hide, his strength surged dramatically, pushing him close to the peak of the 8 revolutions Duzong, with power equivalent to 3 peak immortal kings. With a roar that shook the heavens themselves, he unleashed his strongest technique, the soul-destroying palm, a technique passed down through generations of Hun Clan experts. A massive black imprint carrying a shrill wail and the face of a vengeful spirit shot toward Xiao Yan with devastating power that could level entire mountain ranges. Yet Xiao Yan only shook his head with disappointed contempt, as if watching a child throw a tantrum. With a single step that seemed to fold space itself, he appeared in front of the attack and slapped casually, his palm wrapped in blazing flames that burned with the intensity of collapsing stars. The collision was over in an instant, faster than most could even perceive. Hun Yu's strongest blow, a technique that should have been capable of devastating entire cities, shattered like fragile glass, erased completely by Xiao Yan's casual strike as if it had never existed at all. The battlefield fell into stunned silence, the kind of silence that follows devastation so complete that minds struggle to process what they've witnessed. Hun Yu stared in absolute disbelief, his face a mask of horror and growing despair. That move should have been enough to overwhelm even the strongest half-saints. Yet, Xiao Yan had dismissed it as if swatting away an annoying insect. Suspended in the sky like a god looking down upon mortals, Xiao Yan gazed down with cold contempt that froze the blood in everyone's veins. Then, without wasting another word or showing any mercy, he conjured a massive flame palm, the air around it burning and distorting as it descended with terrifying speed that left after images in its wake. Hun Yu desperately summoned a beast-shaped defense from his black mist, pouring every ounce of his remaining power into the technique. But the flames instantly evaporated it like morning dew before the sun, leaving him completely defenseless. His defenses crumbled like sandcastles before a tsunami. His body was rocked violently by impacts that shattered bones, and he spat blood while being thrown back in absolute humiliation. The neutral experts, watching from afar, gasped in unified terror, secretly relieved beyond measure that they had chosen not to oppose Xiao Yan when they had the chance. With a few devastating follow-up strikes that demonstrated incredible power and precision, Xiao Yan blasted through the other battlefields as well, stirring Zhu Feng and the rest with overwhelming force that left them broken and demoralized. Seeing Hun Yu defeated so quickly and completely, despair spread across their faces like a plague of hopelessness. But just as the dust seemed ready to settle and victory seemed assured, the Bodhisattva Ancient Tree let out a strange sound, a sound that resonated with sadness and finality. The entire space trembled violently, and everyone realized with the growing alarm that it was collapsing around them like a house of cards. The battle ceased at once as survival instincts overcame all other concerns. A moment later, all were cast out onto the grassland of the ancient wilderness, the spatial transition leaving them disoriented and struggling to comprehend what had just occurred. Slowly, with the dignity of an ancient god returning to slumber, the Bodhisattva Ancient Tree sank back into the ground, vanishing completely as if it had never existed. The gathered experts watched in respectful silence, reluctant to see such a legendary treasure disappear from the world, their hearts filled with regret and awe. When the ancient tree finally disappeared, leaving only memories of its incredible power, the grassland was empty once again. But before anyone could relax or process what they had experienced, the space around them twisted unnaturally, reality bending in ways that defied comprehension. A suffocating force locked everyone in place, trapping them like prey in an invisible cage crafted by a master hunter. Above them, a massive phantom of a heavenly phoenix spread its wings, covering the sky itself with shadow and radiating pressure that made even breathing a struggle. Xiao Yan's eyes narrowed coldly, filled with the dangerous calm of a predator recognizing a threat. He warned with voice dripping with menace that perhaps it was time the Sky Demon Phoenix clan considered finding a new patriarch, as the current one seemed incapable of making wise decisions. Zhu Feng's heart clenched under that chilling gaze, panic filling him as he realized the true extent of the danger they now faced. And in desperation, he signaled Hun Yu with frantic gestures. A cruel smile curved Hun Yu's lips, the smile of someone playing their final, desperate card. He crushed a space scroll with violent satisfaction, and at once a heart-stopping aura spilled through the crack in reality, like poison seeping through broken walls. Gasps erupted all around as recognition dawned. "A semi-saint!" the crowd exclaimed in unified horror. Their voices filled with the terror of those who suddenly realize they are completely outmatched. Xiao Yan's expression sharpened with deadly focus. The Hun clan was summoning reinforcements, powerful ones. Without hesitation that demonstrated incredible courage and quick thinking, he formed a ferocious beast of fire and hurled it toward the crack with devastating speed, trying desperately to destroy the passage before anyone could emerge. But just as the fire beast was about to explode and seal the dimensional rift, a skeletal hand reached through the crack and effortlessly crushed it, snuffing out the flames like candles in a hurricane. A chilling cough echoed across the battlefield as a hunched, skeletal old man stepped out, leaning on a bone cane that radiated an aura of death itself. His sunken eyes glowed faintly with an eerie green light that seemed to peer directly into souls. This was Gu Yu, the Bone Nether Saint, second heavenly venerable of the Hall of Souls, a figure whose very name inspired terror across continents. With mocking disdain that cut deeper than any blade, he sneered that he hadn't expected Hun Yu to fail against Xiao Yan so miserably, his voice carrying the contempt of ages. Xiao Yan drew in a deep breath, steel filling his spine as realization dawned. For the first time in his incredible journey, he was about to face a true semi-saint head-on in direct combat. The tension in the air was suffocating, thick enough to cut with a blade. Everyone from the ancient clan was shocked and furious at this blatant interference. Gu Qingyang instinctively tried to use a space scroll to call for reinforcements, but to his dismay and growing horror, the channel wouldn't open. Gu Xuner calmly explained with grim certainty that Zhu Feng's Sky Phoenix Phantom had sealed the space completely. Without its permission, no spatial fluctuation could escape. They were truly trapped with a monster. What happens next in this deadly confrontation that will determine not just Xiao Yan's fate, but the balance of power in the entire realm? Will Xiao Yan's incredible new abilities be enough to face a true semi-saint? Or will this be the challenge that finally pushes him beyond his limits? Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell to stay updated with all the incredible developments in Battle Through the Heavens. Your support helps me bring you more amazing content covering all the most epic moments in Donghua history. That's all from me for this episode. Until next time, stay tuned for more incredible adventures as Xiao Yan faces his greatest challenge, yet against the terrifying Bone Nether Saint.